Howdy everyone and welcome back to a brand new video. This is Sky High Ken here, and today I'm going to be talking about something that we should all really push ourselves for the year of 2026. But before I get started with the video, I do have a bit of congestion. Unfortunately, during Christmas, I got some allergies or some form of cough that is making me a bit congested right now. So if you hear that, that's mainly because of me just simply feeling really congested. With that said, if you like this content video, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. But with all that said, let's go ahead and get started with the video. Now, the topic for today that I really want to hone down on is why people don't necessarily want to grow up anymore. You can also paint it as more like why people don't want to take on this form of leadership for their lifestyle. And what do I exactly mean by a leadership for your lifestyle? It really does kind of come down to growing up, being a responsible adult for yourself and making sure that you take care of yourself, doing the responsible things of continuously learning, continuously taking care of your health, being proactive on any expenses that you have, being a hard worker. It really is some of the old mindset tools and things that we're told as early as when we are young. And of course, it can also mean the other thing, we shouldn't do any drugs. We shouldn't do anything that degrades our body, that digresses our health in any way, shape, or form. We should always be improving ourselves in any way that we can. Temptation is a very big thing, and it can be a really big impact on your life. And that's probably even going to be the key word for throughout this video, which is the word temptation. A lot of us are tempted by porn addiction, drinking alcohol, doing drugs, doing weed, cocaine. It can be any sort of those things, or it can even be anything that, I guess, more neutrally dissatisfactory with your life, which can be procrastination on projects that you have hold, or not wanting to try to take that leap of faith within your power to, try to apply for that college, try to apply for that job, try to work on, once again, that project that you've been wanting to do. It's anything that is holding you back mentally or even physically. And of course, the reason why I think that this holds us all back is because we're just simply scared to face the reality that hits us. We're not exactly taught to fend for ourselves. We're just kind of thrown out, and we're expected to just learn this all on our own with what the resources that we're given and with what level of a tax bracket we are at. It's going to be very different for someone that is in the lower tax bracket, of course, versus someone in the medium, versus someone in the upper end bracket. I've known people that have lived in their car. I've met friends that even have been living on the street. And that just kind of comes down to their own delusion that things will get better. You can't expect that the world will always get better, because it's going to get harder with each coming day. Each coming day, it's going to get more competitive, and it's going to get more competitive to fight for where you're living and to even try to grow within your standards of living. There's been a story going around about this Nickelodeon show called Ned's Declassified. And I'm guessing that there's this kid that, he used to be a kid that was on the show who life went to total and utter garbage. If you've been scrolling around Instagram or TikTok lately, I believe this person's name is Tyler Chase, just doing a quick Ned's Declassified Google search online. And of course, in this video, he looks very raggedy. He looks very ungroomed, unkept. He's essentially homeless right now. What a kid, or what a star that was pretty much at the top, because Ned's Declassified was very high up there. It was on the level of, if you're around my age, The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, or Hannah Montana, or That's So Raven. Those shows that were on Disney or Nickelodeon, any of those things. And in some regards, you have to feel a lot of sympathy for this kid. Even as I was making this video, I was just talking about this with my own girlfriend, of all things, trying to even think about, hey, what are the ramifications of indulging in the temptation of drugs, pornography, or anything that really does degrade you, the common things. And she really did point a big picture that it's not just those types of addictions that can really lead someone astray. It's that this poor kid was actually, I guess, in a big role where he probably wasn't even getting the influence that he needed, the skills, the education. I'm not sure. We all know about those scandals that have been floating around with Dan Schneider, Miranda Cosgrove, Jeanette McCurdy, pretty much the iCarly cast, or what's the other show? I think it's called Victoria's Secret, those Nickelodeon shows. We know all about those, where the industry is just very abusive and very toxic. And it was preying on these young kids. These young kids at the time, they didn't know what they were getting themselves into. At the time, this was seen as the top peak, very similar to Mr. Beast being the biggest, YouTuber at the time, of course. Now, I don't want to be the person to say that, once again, that this Tyler Chase had it coming, but when you look at the duality of his other co-stars, or at least the people within that common alumni group, once again, Jeanette McCurdy, Miranda Cosgrove, or either stars that made a bigger name out of themselves, like Ariana Grande. Now, I don't want to be the person to say that Tyler Chase was absolutely on drugs, and this was the downfall of his career, and that's why I'm really not the person to say that. But there's clear evidence that this kid was struggling very much down the line, which he took to a huge, deep term to not only become homeless, but he is now being entered into a rehabilitation center. Now, a lot of people may think, well, shouldn't we donate to this young man? Shouldn't we at least try to help him and support him? And that's exactly what one of his co-stars did from this show. One of Tyler Chase's co-stars, Daniel Curtis Lee, a pretty nice charitable thing by giving him a small fighting chance, which is still a big thing, by, just offering him some pizza and even checking him into a hotel, only for Taylor Chase to completely trash it and ruin it. And I'm not trying to once again dog on Taylor Chase by saying that he's clearly unstable and he cannot be helped, which is why he has to go to a rehabilitation center. But in my opinion, there are still reasons why people that even were at the top still become in a place that they never intended to end up, which results in homelessness. And it happens in every shape and size and avenue, whether you're at the top or whether you're even trying to get your life back in order. I think the key here is to say that, this young man was just simply a victim within a corrupted industry. And we all know that Hollywood is full of corruption, abuse, anything that goes around. And clearly, he was just in the storm of it. But again, you have to look at the duality of his other co-stars that faced a similar fate too. And we all know about the story, once again, of Jeanette McCurdy, whose mother was very abusive and tried to force her into these forms of acting careers. It's why she made her very popular book, I'm Glad My Mom Died. Because it doesn't matter what path you choose, because there is definitely a path that will lead your line, for one, from temptation, which is, again, drugs, anything that degrades your mentality, your will to keep going, or will to even think for yourself, versus other paths that actually enlighten you from, despite having a awful past, while even maintaining a status that was high, you can still find a tunnel through there. And by that tunnel, it's how you grow from the circumstances that you're given. We all want to feel secure by giving ourselves that quick dopamine of whatever it is that makes us feel comfortable. And eventually that poisons us to lead into a life that will destroy ourselves versus, acknowledging it, that it is a reality, of course, and that it is harsh, that it's not fair that I had this versus someone else that may have had a much better life than I did. And sometimes this path is something that you cannot even fight for themselves. I'm pretty sure there is someone out there right now, and personally me, there are people right now that that are about to be homeless or are homeless, that were some of your greatest friends, or that are leading down a path that is only going to hurt themselves to the point where they won't ever become their potential that they may want to be. You're probably even with that friend group where they have that potential, but they lack discipline. They lack control of that. And that's because we all feel comfort in what makes us feel good about ourselves. we all like to ignore the reality that is the outside world, which is very harsh. It's going to kill us, but we have to tame it as if we're fighting the Leviathan. Now, I'm going to kind of give a bit of a flavor for another video that I do plan on going over another time, which is pretty much why it's tough to be a good person. But to kind of hone on the idea of why you should become a leader and why that's still important to you, even to help these people in their time of need, even if you just give them advice, you don't even have to be there for them, is because I always preach it again. Do not ever expect something out of return, but expect that when you need anyone during your most time of need, that you've created the best network, best wealth of giving your friends that form of hand, which can be, once again, anything, helping them move out, teaching them a new life skill, or presenting them something that they didn't know, that they may have your best interest. But again, a leader should never expect anything in return. Leaders have to go about this world knowing that they have to fight for the little people out there. It's why being a leader is so tough, and it's why people will look up to you, and it's why, once again, these people never grow. You have to fight your own battles, of course. And it's also perfectly reasonable to say that I'm not here to fight your battles, which, yes, of course, I don't want that. What I want you to understand is when you treat your own life as if you're trying to protect your own self, if you yourself was a different person, then that's how you should approach every aspect of choice, temptation, and even form of delusion that you may have about the circumstances that you're given to fight through it. Those examples can, well, unfortunately be sacrificing a party versus studying for a certification for your exam, or pushing yourself just to make time for meaningful memories, such as spending time with your friends or family that mean well to you. Anything that's productive that you know will bring more net positivity to yourself. Because when you start to grow yourself and take care of yourself, people will look up to you. And not only that, you build your sense of confidence knowing that you finally achieved something that a lot of our population can't even do, which is taking care of yourself and fighting your own battles in which people would require your influence, your take. And that's what makes you the most valuable person that you can be around your group, is being that beacon of leadership that gives the advice in order to impact other people. We all struggle in this world, and we all can't do it by ourselves, while at the same time too, these people, such as, again, the example from the NEDC classified young man, they have to fight their own internal struggles that are holding them back. And it can also even mean being that whenever you do support a person that you know you can't take care of, because you also have to support yourself, you also have to be firm with them too. Now again, this all does go back to the main question of why people do not want to grow up anymore. And it's not necessarily why people do not want to be grown ups, but why they just don't want to grow up or evolve or reshape what they think anymore. Reshaping your mindset is not about thinking one way or another politically. It's about your work ethic. It's about knowing the red flags that are appearing to you. And it's knowing about the warning signs that you're about to be in deep trouble if you do not think outside the box for your own self and your own sanity. Sometimes thinking outside the box can even mean making big choices, big decisions that you do not want to take. For example, once again, nothing at all to your account, you have no car, no or hardly any support group to help you. It's determining what skills you need to learn that are in high demand and applying for any job, it doesn't matter what it is, in order to get by the next day. Guys, once again, 2026 is not going to get any easier for us. Even for someone like me, and I will admit I'm fairly conservative with my beliefs, but the reality is that it's going to get tougher. 2026 will get tougher for us. And one of these YouTube channels I really enjoy watching is A Life After Layoff. You truly do have to treat yourself like the CEO of your own company. Now, you can take that wording with any direction you want, but the way I take it is that you have to take care of yourself and the people around you, if they're around you, as if you're managing your own business, as if you're taking care of someone, or as if you're taking care of your own self. You don't ever want your own self or your own baby self to perish. You want to make sure that person stays alive for as long as possible, and focusing on all the hard techniques, all whatever trade skills that you need to do in order to become in demand or any knowledge that you can present to someone else that they can learn from you. Again, be the leader. Be someone that anyone can turn to, even if you don't know what it is, even if you suck at your own career, and even if you suck at what you're doing. It doesn't matter. It's how you present yourself, and it's how you uphold yourself when facing everything around this world. And I guarantee you, even the smartest person does not have it figured out either. People make mistakes. We see it all the time in any way, shape, or form. It's okay that you made those mistakes previously, but right now, take this time to develop great habits that will build yourself up. But I think I've already preached on this video quite enough. If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this one. And as always, if there are any other additional advice that you'd like to give me, I would be very much happy to know. With that said, I hope you all have a great day, and the New Year's is coming up. Now is the perfect time to get started with our goals. I know personally I'm going to do that. Y'all take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.